Hey guys, and welcome back to Let's Play Skies of Arcadia Legends. In the last part, we finished up our search around the world above and below the clouds to fill out the rest of our discovery log, except for one, of course. And now we are pretty much all ready to continue on with the story. If you don't remember, we need to be heading to the Maw of Tartas after the Yellow Moon Crystal. Since we can't get in from above due to the seal, we're going to have to try to find a way in underneath, using the fissures to hopefully get up there and grab it that way. Before we go up there, though, we're going to head nearby Sailor's Island. I'm going to drop off my moonfish with Doc. And I may be mistaken, but I believe Sailor's Island might actually have some new equipment for us to check out. So I'm going to probably, investigate into that while we're there as well. But for now, let's just make our way back above the clouds. It's easier to travel above than below, since below you still have to deal with, the Dark Rift and stone reefs and stuff. Whereas above, it's just smooth sailing. And as such, I'm probably also going to cut to when we just get there because, well, this is pretty much what you'd be seeing the whole way, so I'll see you when we get there. Alright, we are now in the area. Let's head over and talk to Doc. We should have, I think, maybe 3 to jump off here, so we won't be here too long. Though I believe we might actually get the next part of the story, I'm not sure. Alright, so let's go ahead and get to feeding this thing. Alright, so our first reward is the Euconyx idol. Again, nothing really useful, we're just going to be selling that for some money. Alright, our second reward is the fiber mail. I don't think we're ever going to be equipping this one. And our third reward is the marksman gun. Who do we know that can use guns? Alright, so yeah, it looks like we're going to get a scene here.
Thank you.
Thank you for always bringing fish for me. Look at how much Piccolo's grown. Whoa, and to think he used to be small enough to fit in the palm of your hand. Jeez, look at that thing. Tell me about it. Who'd have thought that it would grow this big? Piccolo, let's go play over there. Chirp. Maria, be careful. If that big guy starts running around, this rickety old ship won't hold together long. I know. Piccolo, come on, over here. I just wanted to thank you, Vice. Because of you and your crew, Maria's finally come out of her shell. She's become herself again. In return, well, that's a strange way to put it, but in return I'll tell you the rest of my story. It's hard for me to talk about it, but if Maria can be strong enough to get over her past, I can't sit here and dwell on my past either. I guess I've finally become strong enough to realize that. Doc. Well, if you must know, then I'll tell you. I'll tell you of the tragedy that befell Ramirez. Depend on a person too much and they'll betray your trust sooner or later, or so Galshin told Ramirez. Maybe that hit a little close to home, I don't know, but for whatever reason Ramirez began to snoop around for information regarding Mendoza. And that's when we found out that Mendoza was using the Ixotakans as slaves for his own personal profit. He forced the Ixotakans to work a few extra hours here and there and pocketed all the extra moonstones that they found for himself. The shock of this discovery was almost too much for Ramirez to bear. He went directly to Admiral Mendoza and confronted him. My lord, is it true? Is it true about the moonstones and the Ixotakan slaves? I won't lie to you, yes, it is true. But what's the problem? Is there something wrong with making money, with desiring wealth and power? You are forcing the Ixotakans to work grueling hours in inhumane conditions. My lord, you promised me. You told me that you would speak to Her Majesty in regards to the way the Ixotakans were being treated. You truly are naive, aren't you? And what exactly do you think would have happened if I did that? Her Majesty would find out about my little scheme, and I would basically be signing my own death warrant. How could you lie to me like that? It's quite unfortunate that things had to turn out this way, Ramirez, and to think I thought of you as a son. Regardless, you have uncovered my plans and have left me with no choice. Guards, seize him! Everything. All that I've believed in. Ah! By the time I got there, it was already too late. The guards, even Admiral Mendoza, they'd all fallen under Ramirez's blade. Ramirez, what have you done? I'm sorry, Doc, but I can no longer trust humans. I can no longer remain here. Wait, Ramirez, where are you going? Goodbye, Doc. The Ramirez that you knew is no more. He died the moment I drew my blade against Admiral Mendoza. From now on, I will only believe in strength. I shall only follow those with power. Wait, Ramirez!
Ramirez!
And so, Ramirez went to Gelshin's side, and I believe you know the rest of the story. I'd spent so much time with both Mendoza and Ramirez, and yet I could do nothing to stop this tragedy from happening. If only I had the strength to stop him, Mendoza, Ramirez, and even Maria, all their lives would have turned out so much differently. Doc. I know. I'm gonna stop living in the past. Just gotta keep looking forward and hope for the best. Besides, I think it's a blessing that I was able to save Maria from the burning wreckage of the Ocula. Ocula, that name. Wait a second there, Fina, you don't think? But I heard that some air pirates that were passing through the area helped save most of the crew after we left, though. Hey Doc, Maria wouldn't happen to have an older sister, would she? Actually, she did. Wait, did I forget to tell you that? Well, unfortunately, she went missing after the accident. Nobody knows what happened to her. Poor Piastel. It's bothered me for years that I couldn't save both of them. Vice, then it is her. There's no doubt about it. Maria and Piastel are long-lost sisters. We gotta tell Piastel. Piastel said that she would come to fight us again sometime. When we see her, we'll tell her everything we know. What she does with this information's up to her. Alright, so there we go. We learned that's pretty much the end of the backstory of Ramirez that we're going to get to hear from Doc. And, of course, also uncovering the fact that Maria and Piastel are indeed long-lost sisters. You may have been able to sort of piece it together just a little bit before. There are subtle hints here and there, but either way, yes, the fact is finally confirmed now, so we'll have to confront her with that the next time we fight her. Like I said before, I'm going to stop by Sailor's Island and see if they have any upgrades. I'm also actually going to sell all of the discovery information we just picked up, so we're going to be getting a lot of money actually coming out of this place, so let's do it. Alright, so it turns out they didn't have any of the new equipment at Sailor's Island yet. I guess, I know by the time that we come here the next time they will. So we'll just have to hold on for a bit. I did, however, get a bunch of money from all those discoveries. As you can see, we have over 430,000 gold. We can buy just about anything we want at this point, so we're definitely rolling in the dough. But now we finished up all of our little distractions, so it's time to head towards the Maw of Tartas. Now, you have to enter, of course, from a very specific place underneath. You can't just kind of sail around and find it. There's a very specific fissure that you have to find that it's pretty easy if you've been sailing around looking for discoveries. There's a very easy point of reference you can follow. So for now, let's just kind of head northeast over the top of the continent. And once we get to the other side of this mountain here... actually, I think... yeah, I'm pretty much right over the top of the main continent, so we're going to have to head to the east a bit. But once we get out here, we should be able to go back down and underneath. Yeah, it looks like it's clearing up here already. Alright, so if we go down here and we kind of turn around and take a look, and we go underneath the clouds, you can see here's the Dancing Lights discovery. So it's actually very easy to find the entrance because all you have to do is just follow in this little tunnel here. And as you can see, there's a hole awaiting us, and this is where we're going to have to enter underneath the Valuan continent. You can see this is going to lead us to the Maw of Tartas, so let's go do it. Now, the Maw of Tartas is going to be our second ship dungeon. Unfortunately, it's nowhere near as cool or awesome or interesting as the Dark Rift was. It's kind of hard to beat out that place, but as you can see, we got a save point here if you need it. And let's go forward. Now, the Maw of Tartas is really, you can see it looks pretty big. I mean, the tunnels are very wide and everything, but the downside is there's really not a lot in here. It's basically just a bunch of rocks. There's only a couple intersections we're going to be coming to. There's a couple treasures we need to pick up, but apart from that, this place is actually kind of boring and actually kind of slow. As far as dungeons are concerned, I guess if you want to count this one, I would say this is my least favorite out of all of them. But there's some interesting atmosphere here and there. You can see there's a lot of yellow moon crystals kind of poking out of the walls and everything, so it makes for a pretty interesting view, at least, sometimes anyway. And you can see we've got a couple different ways to go here. We can head over to the left, or we can head over to the right. We're going to go to the right first, because this is where we're going to find our first treasure. And there's only two, so we don't need to look too hard. So once you've pretty much figured out where to go, all that's left is to do it, and that can actually take a bit of time because the ship doesn't really travel that fast, and as you can see, these tunnels are very large. So most of the time it's just kind of sitting here staring at the back of your ship until you can do something. There are also, of course, random battles throughout here. Since I have the white map, they're nowhere near as frequent, but they do still happen. Alright, so it looks like we've only got one thing here. We've got the Carnalac. It's an upgraded version of something we saw in Ixotaka, some kind of big flower enemy thing. It can be pretty tough, but it shouldn't really do too much damage. It's just going to take a little while to go down. Since it's blue, we're going to use green or purple. I skipped over purple, so I guess we use green. We can use a Cutlass Fury on it, turn everyone else over to purple and attack, and we shouldn't have too much trouble with it. But as you'll soon see, it's got a little bit of health, so you know, it might take a little while to actually bring it down. It can do a Death Blossom special attack, and as you can see, it's 459 on Enrique with an irregular attack, which is alright, it's decent. And even a Cutlass Fury didn't bring it down the rest of the way, so we're going to have to use another turn after this. And there's this Death Blossom. You can see it deals almost 1,000 damage, so it could be, you know, a little bit of something, but it really, there's no trouble here. This is just random battles, you know. Alright, so we bring it down. There's a couple other enemy types around here, most of which are weaker. Considerably weaker. In fact, that was actually one of the strongest types. In fact, I think that is the strongest enemy you can encounter here. So, again, random battles, nothing to worry about. Alright, so we're about to approach the chamber that has the treasure. You can see there's this interesting looking crystal on the bottom here. And this is the way our treasure chests are going to be in this place. Remember, in the Dark Rift, it was kind of glowy ships. So you walk up or fly up and examine the top of it. We're going to get a Dexus seed for that. And I could use it, but, well, I don't know. I'm lazy and don't really feel like it. This place takes long enough as it is, so I'd rather just, you know, go ahead and get it over with. Alright, so now we have to fly all the way back out and then to the other exit through the intersection there. See, this is what I mean. Like, there's basically nothing going on. I mean, with the Dark Rift, sure, the ship didn't really move any faster, but there were so many turns, there were all these portals, you know, there were floating islands and all these ships and things on multiple levels, and it was actually a really interesting atmosphere. But this one, there's a bunch of rocks and some tunnels, and that's about it. So that's why I think what makes this place, you know, not stand up at all to the Dark Rift. Alright, so we have a few other enemy types here. This is actually these Nadnarbs. I actually don't really remember these. I know there's like a different type of these you can find. The Stalker Fiends, however, or Stalk Fiend, they're incredibly weak. They'll go down with pretty much any light tap, so we're not going to worry about them. These guys may be the stronger form of the enemy I saw before. I'm actually not entirely sure on that at all. They're blue, so again, green or purple. We'll just stick with that. We should be able to take them down maybe with 1 or 2 regular attacks. We're going to save up Spirit and use a Rain of Swords after this, so I guess we'll have him. I'm not really sure. But yeah, those Stalk Fiends have maybe only a couple hundred HP. Okay, yeah, well, these guys are incredibly weak, so we shouldn't have any trouble taking all these down. In fact, wow, Fina can actually take them down with 1 hit. That's how weak they are. Actually, her attack has gotten a little bit better since the start of the game, so, you know, I won't harp on her too much about that. So yeah, you can basically just spam random attacks. They also do like to run away, so there's really no challenge here whatsoever. So we'll just use a Rain of Swords to finish him off. Could have used regular attacks, but whatever. Just wanted to guarantee it was done as soon as possible.
Is it over already?
Alright, so let's keep going now. I've got to try to figure out when we're back in that intersection. All these places kind of blend together, and it gets me a little confused sometimes. I'm not sure if this is leading us back to the start, and I missed the intersection, or it's still coming up. It may still be coming up here. Nope, that's the start area, I believe. Unless there's a path to the right. Okay, yeah, I think I skipped it. So that's gonna make this place take even longer. Like I said, like all this rocks and tunnels just kind of makes it all blend together. It can be really easy to miss openings and stuff. So, alright, let's head back. Oh, the ship even decided to cut out its sound there for a minute. Alright, so this time we need to head to the left. I think it's that little hole over there. Alright, well here's one new enemy type. This guy's a little bit stronger. This is a Shreep, or Shrilp. Is that an L? I think that's an L. Oh yeah, Shrilp, I suppose. Red, which is an interesting element choice for this area. We're going to have Vice focus on that. They can be a little bit strong, but they're not too much trouble. And of course, you know, it's populated with all the other weaker enemies, so there shouldn't be any trouble here. We'll see if this actually takes it. Okay, yeah, see, it's got a little bit of health and pretty decent defense as well. Of course, it is guarding, but it just makes it a little bit more annoying.
Here goes.
And yeah, most of the rest of these things will probably try to run away.
How about you?
The white map may actually be influencing that a little bit as well. Alright, so one more attack. We'll take him out. Raid of Swords should do it. And there we go. That takes care of everything. Alright, so with that, I think we have seen pretty much every enemy type that you can encounter around here. We got the flower, we got the little fuzzy thing with the yellow tentacles or whatever, I don't know, the Nadnarb, I think they were. Got the big Shrelp things, and we got the Stalk Fiend, so I'm pretty sure that's about it. Alright, yeah, this is the path that we need to be taking. So, I mean, there's not really a whole lot to say about this place. I'm not sure if it maybe just, like, wasn't entirely finished. Like, if they had other plans for it, or if it was just like, oh, hey, we need to throw together another ship dungeon. Here, put in some tunnels and rocks. You know, I mean, I don't know. But either way, I do have to say this is not one of my favorite places. The part you come out in at the end, though, is pretty cool. It just takes a little while to get there. Alright, so before we reach the end, we're going to have one more intersection. You can see we can go either to the right or to the left. We're going to take a left turn first. And I do like this music. I mean, this is, I don't know, maybe the third or fourth time we've heard it. I'm actually not sure off the top of my head. Of course, the first time was at Shrine Island, you know, our first real dungeon. I do like this track. And it worked really well for Mount Kazai as well. For this place, I'm not really so sure. I guess it kind of does, you know, it's like a, you know, dead, abandoned place. Alright, so hopefully we're coming up upon this treasure soon. I think maybe once we round this corner. The white map is a must here. If you have anything else on and you have to fight random battles all this time, oh man, this will take so long. Alright, so here's the treasure. Oh, battle first. Yeah, I actually ended up running from that battle because it was two of those big plant things that would just take it too long, so I don't even care. Anyway, there was a moonberry there, so now we could turn around and backtrack all the way to that intersection. This should be fun. And if you couldn't detect the sarcasm there, I don't even know what to tell you. Oh, I got hung up on something there for a second. Not sure what happened. Alright, so we should be back out here, and once again we're going to make another left from our perspective here. Would have been right upon entering the chamber. Alright, no trouble there. And no, that crystal up top is not another treasure. It looks like it might be, but no, there's only the two, so... Alright, onward we go. The good news is we are approaching the end of this area, so just a little bit more sailing and we'll be there. Yeah, it seems like the collision detection for running into rocks and stuff, like it extends way longer than it feels like it should. Alright, here we go. Another save point, you know, in case you had so much trouble getting to this place. But, and you can see there's a tunnel ahead, and we're finally out. Alright, then we get put into this chamber here. As we go forward, you can see it's a little bit more decorated, and we can use our ship camera feature. Check this thing out. Yeah, so like I said, it's a pretty cool place you end up in, but it's too bad the rest of the place couldn't really look like that. Alright, so let's check this thing out, and you can obviously tell above us is the seal, so we're pretty much right at the surface. A little closer to this thing. Is that? That's Yellowgar, the yellow gigas. Huh. Sylvite mages managed to put him to sleep, then they sealed him in here. Yellowgar is extremely powerful, so it's best that we don't wake him. The crystal is in Yellowgar's possession. We have to find a way to remove it without waking him. Great, he's awake. If we stay here, we won't be able to dodge the lightning. We have to get away from him. Engines, full reverse. This is bad. You made breaking the seal look easy. This isn't a good sign. It looks like we're gonna have to fight him to get the crystal. Battle stations. Let's take that thing down. Yellowgar. Ancient records say its thunder tore open the skies themselves and its roar shook the ground. Whoa, it doesn't sound like a very friendly gigas. Vice, we should be extra careful. Indeed we should. Alright, so this is the ship battle against Yellowgar, the yellow gigas. Alright, awesome. And much like Blueheim, this is going to be your standard traditional ship battle. No real gimmicks to worry about. We're going to take his HP bar all the way down. Should be fun. Alright, so first things first here. Looks like we've got a C turn, so we're probably going to go ahead and use the ancient cannon on that one. And we can also get some Apowax going, probably towards the end here to sort of prolong the boost we get. And we're going to focus on the rest of the turns here. We don't really need to be building up spirit points too quickly. We recover quite a bit naturally at this point, so there's no need to really waste any gear greases we may have. And you can see he's got to spend a little bit of time preparing as well. So yeah, it looks like at this point we're both pretty much just building up, so... No, he's the other way. Turn around. Alright, and there's the first of his attacks, Photon Charge. Despite really all the buildup they give him, you know, that he's this super powerful, super destructive gigas and everything, his attacks really don't do that much damage. There's really no threat. I shouldn't even have to heal here, to be honest. I mean, that's really how little damage he does. So they kind of make you, you know, afraid of him. It's like, oh man, we should really keep our distance here. But in reality, he can't actually do that much to you. You can see we're also going to have a decision to make at the end of this turn, but you can see we've got quite a lot of spirits, so once we get the chance to use the Moonstone Cannon, and we will, trust me, we will, quite a bit actually, we want to make sure we got plenty of SP saved up for that point. So we don't really have any C turns here, so we can just kind of pick a random turn to fire on, and we can guard on this one. I may go ahead and have somebody... Yeah, we'll focus here at the end. I may have somebody just use a torpedo in that round, you know, because those are always pretty good. But you want to make sure you save up at least a little bit of spirit, so on those 2 sea turns you can, you know, deal out quite a bit of firepower. Yeah, I mean, our health bar is barely going down there. Oh, well, looks like I picked a bad turn to attack on, but at least the torpedo did something. And don't worry, we'll get plenty of opportunities next turn. Alright, and there's his other attack, Voltigar, which does a little bit more damage. Hard to tell there because I was guarding, but trust me, it does. So it's, again though, it's really nothing to worry about. I mean, even unguarding, that would have done, what, a little bit of, like, maybe a little over 2,000, something like that, so it's really no big deal. Alright, so here we're going to get to make our decision on what to do next. It looks kind of flat. Maybe we should attack it from above or below. It might be easier to hit that way. Alright, so basically, we've already seen Photon Charge comes from above and Voltigar comes from below. We're going to attack from below, though, because this is what's going to give us the sea turns. Let's try attacking it from underneath. Maybe its underside is softer than the rest of it. Something like that, I guess. I don't know. Alright, and you can see we're also going to have a chance to use the Moonstone Cannon next turn, so building up spirit is pretty important here. Actually, we also need a boost, because our Apoaxes wore off, so we'll use a cannon here. We'll go ahead and get that Apoax back out, and we'll probably go ahead and use one of our gear greases here on the final turn. We've still got, you know, a few left, so it's no big deal. And probably just another cannon shot here. And if we would have actually used the Apoax on a, you know, earlier turn, then we could have fired out a torpedo as well, which would have done quite a lot of damage, but oh well, it's fine. With the Moonstone Cannon, we'll be, you know, pretty well off. Alright, so here we go with our first attack. Nice. Our cannons are doing almost 15,000 damage. That's pretty awesome. And still basically nothing. I mean, our ship's still in the green. We'll add on another 13,000 to that, so you can see he can take quite a bit of punishment, though. I'll give him that. He's got quite a lot of health, but he won't last too much longer, I can guarantee you that. On a side note, I think Voltigar would have actually been a better name for this gigas than Yellowgar. You can tell they named it Yellowgar because, well, it's yellow, but I don't know. I think Voltigar would have been a cooler name. So we've got plenty of RSP restored, and we are ready to go on the offensive here. Damn, not a single weak point. More importantly, is it just me, or does that thing look a little more active? Is the Sea Awakening on it or something? Perhaps, but whatever the reason, it appears to be building up for some sort of attack. I wish there was some way we can knock it off balance like we've done with all the other gigas, but it's just too big. Anything short of the Moonstone Cannon probably wouldn't even make that thing budge. The Moonstone Cannon, you say? Well, I think that's a fine idea. Let's go ahead and unload. You can see it is on a red turn, so you may think, oh, well, we should probably guard, but, well, like she said, the Moonstone Cannon may knock it off balance, so that's what we're going to do. We're also going to go ahead and take advantage of the sea turn with another cannon, and as you can see, we actually have the chance to use the Moonstone Cannon again on the next turn, so I'm actually going to go ahead and use an Arcwell torpedo here, because we do restore plenty of spirit. We can have Enrique take care of that, so... We should still have enough, I think, for a Moonstone Cannon on the next turn. Alright, so it may still be hitting us with, yeah, some little stuff here and there. That looks like it should do a lot more damage. I mean, the ship is like almost exploding there, but oh well. Of course, when you think about it, other things like the Little Jack literally being punched by Grendel, the green gigas, you know, having giant boulders thrown at it, I think it would have probably ended up a little worse off too. Alright, so here we go. Here's our turn to attack.
Moonstone cannon, fire!
Nice, and that did a lot of damage. Look at that. Alright, so next turn, this guy should be down, assuming we can use the Moonstone Cannon. And as you can see, that also causes it to lose the target, so it pretty much gets knocked off balance, like Aka said. Alright, that did it. It's off balance. Leave it to the Moonstone Cannon. Alright, everyone, now's our chance. Open fire. Yeah, let's do it. Nice, and we do have enough, so this Moonstone Cannon will almost undoubtedly take it down. We have enough for maybe a torpedo. I guess we can do that and focus, but we should not get there.
Moonstone cannon, fire!
Yep, and down it goes. Alright, so cool. Got a couple levels there. We should also get a Captain's Stripe. Yeah, and a Thunder Cutlass. Nice. We may finally get a new weapon for Vice. We did it! Wow. I think she needs more exclamation marks there. That wasn't easy. It's amazing that we were able to get it before the Armada. Well, since we got the yellow crystal, we should head back to Crescent Isle. This is the 5th moon crystal that we've collected. And now, my quest is finished. Fina. Alright, and we received the yellow moon crystal. Alright, so there we go. We took down Yelagar and got the 5th crystal, the final one we were hunting for. Since the Sylvite Elders already have the silver moon crystal, that means we have now finished Fina's quest, as she said. I'm gonna get up here so we don't get stormed on. But alright, so pretty much next up, I suppose, would be to head back to Crescent Isle. And we're gonna have to figure out a way to get Fina back home, as sad as that is. You know, don't want to see her go, but I guess that would be the next step. So, alright, next time we'll head back to Crescent Isle and figure out what to do next. Until then, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.